Hi guys, it's ASBYT and welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're talking about the Honor View 20. I've been using this as my daily driver for around a week or so, and this is a very quick unboxing and my full review so far. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. Hi guys, like I said, welcome back to a brand new video, and today in my hand I have the Honor View 20 or V20, whatever you want to call it. You're probably not really bothered about the name, you just want to know what it can do. And we're going to see whether this is potentially one of the best flagship killers that you could possibly buy right now. So let's see exactly what you get inside the box. So as soon as you open it up, you are of course greeted with the smartphone, and then also get a see-through silicone case, which is always nice to see. Now, I'm usually not a fan of layers. I prefer my smartphone naked, but it's there if you need it. You also get your SIM ejector tool, your manual, and of course your charging brick and Type-C cable. If you're not aware who Honor are, in tech terms, they're a very new company. 2013 they were established, and the whole idea was to give groundbreaking kind of flagship performance, but on a bit more of a medium budget. And because of that, for obvious reasons, they are growing in popularity by the day. The latest cutting edge technologies at a cheaper price. Who wouldn't be interested? Okay, so enough about the Honor brand per se. Let's focus more on the Honor View 20. Now, this was actually released on the 22nd of January, and it is their current flagship. It's been turning many ahead for a few key reasons, and let's touch on them right now. Number one, its design. I mean, just look at that. It's not going to be for everyone, but you can't deny that that is a very original way of designing a smartphone. It's very in keeping with Honor since they've been established, that they go for this very colourful, very colour shifting, different shaded backs. And bear with me, I'm hoping I'm correct with this, it has an Aurora Nano texture. Yeah, I can see that. That's what I thought when I saw it. Would be a lie, but that is the official name for this textured back. And from any angle, as the light hits it, it just looks absolutely gorgeous. It's just got this wonderful V arrow straight down the back that actually moves as you turn it in the light. I think it's great. And you're going to turn a few heads, let's be honest. You're going to be the V-man. Sorry, I don't know what that was. What was that noise? And we're not going to stop there when talking about the design, because when we flip to the front, we also have one of the world's first smartphones to have the fully bezel-less display with the punch hole cutout. This is becoming more and more of a theme right now, but this was one of the first when launched in January. As you can see, it's actually shaded quite craftily using that dark bit of the wallpaper, but you can just about see it, I'm sure, there. And in fact, I will flip to one side, and there you go. You can see the punch hole cutout just up there. Is it a fully bezel-less display? No, but it's probably one of the best styles that we've got right now. And having the design like this obviously helps for viewing media, for example. You've got that full display, you know, you have no interruptions other than that small cutout there. Is it ideal? No, of course we want to see the full bezel-less display without pop-ups, without motorized parts, but currently there isn't an option for that. So this is probably, like I said, the next best thing. And certainly as well, if you're gaming, for example, you will generally cover that area of the device anyway, so you're not really losing too much, and you are getting that full screen to enjoy anything you want to do with it. Now, while we're on the subject of gaming, this does have 9 cooling technology, and what that means is that it has a PC level liquid cooling system. Not the first we've seen on a smartphone. We've seen liquid cooling devices before, but this has it. And as you may or may not know, if we cool the device down whilst gaming, for example, it will generally lead to better performance. As phones, as computers, laptops overheat, their performance is throttled, and liquid cooling, yeah, it's going to help. And I must say, in the time I've been using it, gaming has been a breeze on this device. Now, we've touched on liquid cooling for gaming. We also have to talk, of course, on the SoC, for example. Now, this runs with the Kirin 980, and when it was released back in 2018, this was the world's first 7nm chip. It has, of course, been done since with other companies, but this again was the first. Now, the model that I have comes with 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage, and these specs have actually been tested up against the Snapdragon 845, for example, and will generally come out on top in most areas. And with its GPU Turbo 2.0, this will again push frame rate, performance, etc. right to the max. Now, another big talking point about the Honor View 20 is its camera. Now, it was, when released, the world's first smartphone with a 48 megapixel camera. Now, I know what you're thinking, size doesn't always mean everything, but I can say in my experience from using this, with the 48 megapixel camera sensor, you are able to capture very sharp photos, getting clearer pictures as a result. You do get some great photos. And again, yes, you can't just solely rely on the amount of megapixels to make a great camera in a smartphone. There are other things that come into it, but certainly in this case, it does help. Is it the best camera on the market? No, I don't think it is, but certainly I don't think you're going to be disappointed, especially considering the price of this device, which we will get to shortly. One thing I do love about the camera on this device is the point and shoot nature of it. Now, often I have been very critical of smartphones for its point and shoot. You see something, you want a picture, you take it and it just works. When using portrait mode, for example, if you're taking shots of animals that are constantly on the move, I've had a lot of problems with loads of different smartphones where it just isn't able to focus on that moving target and it will blur the picture. And we're talking some of the top high-end devices that cost $900 to £1,000. Now, in the week or so that I've been using this, I found it very easy. Yes, the edge detection might not be the best in the world, but if you want that sharp subject focus, that nice blurring of the background, it does 9 times out of 10 just work. And the actual sensor is provided by Sony. It's the IMX586 CMOS. Now, you may look on the back and think there's more than one lens, and we've only touched on the one 48 megapixel one, and that's because the second one isn't a telephoto lens, it isn't a wide angle lens, it is a TOF, or time of flight. And this helps the smartphone actually detect depth. So for bokeh or depth effect shots, it's going to work well with that. And also 3D scanning as well. Would I prefer a wide angle or a telephoto in that secondary lens? I probably would personally, but again, it might be a way that they can kind of try and keep the cost down. Try and keep the cost down. And I'd have to go as far as saying, in this price range, I don't think I've seen a better camera. There are a few in and around, but certainly this is right up there for this price. Now again, similar to a lot of recent Honor and Huawei smartphones, there is a lot of AI involved in the camera, and there is a specific AI button which you can toggle on and off as well. There is some sort of beautify modes, etc., which again, you can kind of tweak. It does still feel a little bit too much for me personally, mainly using that front-facing camera. So for example, with selfies. Having said that, again, you can get some amazingly sharp front-facing selfie shots, even the likes of portrait mode, for example, using software to blur the background. It does again work pretty well. And the front-facing camera is 25 megapixels with f2.0 aperture. You've also got like an Animoji setup where you've got different animals and lizards and things like that. Not my personal cup of tea, but you may want to use it. I'm not really sure what I'm doing, to be honest. You've got an individual night mode, and it basically has a slower shutter speed to allow more light to flood in. And yes, it does brighten the image. You're not going to get the best low light photos on the Honor View 20, but if you are in desperate need of an extra bit of light, that little night mode does give it that extra push. We've got a video mode, which shoots up to 4K, and on the whole, can't really complain about that. The image stabilization could be a little bit better. Again, consider the price. There's also a headphone jack, which seems to be going the way of the Dodo, but we still have it on here. Now, we do have a single bottom firing speaker. It's not amazing in quality, but it's certainly loud enough. Now, I must say it does feel very premium in the hand. This glass metal-esque sandwich feels solid enough to be a high-end flagship. Now, in terms of screen brightness, it runs up to, I believe, 520 nits, and it is plenty bright enough, but it is an LCD screen and not an OLED screen, so if that's something that's really important to you, you've got to factor that in. So your blacks, for example, aren't going to be quite as deep, dark, and inky, but taking the LCD factor aside, it's a decent display. Now, in terms of unlocking, we have the fingerprint sensor on the back there, which in my experience is kind of in the position that I would want it. Not really too much to say about the fingerprint sensor other than the fact that it is really quick. And it also has face unlocking as well. It is 2D, so it's not going to be quite as secure as some 3D ones, but nevertheless, it again is pretty rapid. And what is also brilliant about this device is the battery at 4000 mAh, the super fast charging that you get as well. Now, again, to bring the price down, we don't have the likes of wireless charging, we don't have the likes of an IP rating, and they will be very important to certain people, but not for others. So back to my original question at the start of the video, is the Honor View 20 one of the best flagship killers currently available on the market. I would have to say, yes, it's got great performance with its SoC choice, for example. It's got a gorgeous design. Again, it's one of the first to have the sort of hole punch cutout on the fully bezel-less display. And as I've already said, there are a few shortcomings, don't get me wrong, but when you look at the price, just around 500, 550 euros, it's hard not to see this device as one of the best flagship killers currently around. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Is this a winner for you? Is it something you're interested in? Is it something you're going to go and buy? Is there something else available on the market around this sort of price range that you think is necessarily better? And again, why? Like and share if you did enjoy this video and found it helpful. Subscribe and hit that notification bell if you're new to the channel and want to be notified every time I post a video on anything tech, pretty much daily content here on YouTube. I'll love you and leave you. I'll see you in the next one. It says ASBYT. Peace out.